Hey everybody, welcome back to That's the Key. Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. It has been a process. I would say it's been a month of Sundays, the kind of Sundays where the Monday is not a holiday, okay? It's been some things. So let's talk about what's been going on with your girl since our last visit. It has been a couple weeks, much longer than I anticipated and or desired, right? So I just like the first thing. So after I'd already had a major delay in production, I did produce. I created a episode all the way through. Go to check it. Everything is cool when I look at it on my computer. I go do some more work and then I come back later to edit the video and it's gone. I can't open it. Like, I don't know what happened. It's just absolutely deleted from the card, the HD card, SD card. I don't know. Whatever the stupid thing is called. It wasn't there. Couldn't get it back. And at that point, after already like taking 2 weeks to do that, it didn't take me out the game, but it caused me stress. It caused me a lot of stress. So this is the redo of the extended hiatus podcast episode. So that's where we're at with it. So the initial story with like, okay, so what's going on with the pod? Like, what's taking so long? How's progress going? Absolutely. First of all, thank you for all of y'all who have reached out to me to even see what was still going on. Made me feel good that a couple of y'all been listening and looking forward to the next episode. But I know, a lot of y'all have said stuff about wanting to do different things with creating content and, maybe starting a podcast or any of that type of stuff. So I'm just going to be very transparent about this journey because one thing that I can say is I see a lot of people talking about how they start stuff and they do things and content creators can give you tips on like overall, but I don't always hear a lot of people like being real honest about what the process looks like if you're in the process of trying to do this thing on your own, like do it very DIY. So I don't know if it's the fact that I don't have a normal corporate desk job. I haven't sat behind a desk or used a computer on a regular basis for, I guess, 7 years at this point, right? So I don't know if I'm just absolutely technologically defunct or it's just I don't know this new technology. Like I don't know. But everything feels like it takes a long time to learn, okay? The learning curve for all the things just it was extensive, an extensive learning curve, right? So all that to say, I would absolutely say for anyone who is considering starting a podcast that there is definitely some value in going to a like content studio or creative studio where you can actually just go sit down and talk. Like if you already know what you're going to talk about, you already have some content. They have these podcast studios where you can just go pay your little coins. I don't know if it's little coins, it could be big coins. I don't know. I haven't priced it, but go sit down, lights are ready, the audio is ready, a technician is there. All they got to do is press record and you talk. And then I'm assuming they probably have engineers to chop everything up for you and then they just send it to you, ready for you to post and distribute as needed. There is absolutely some value in that, right? If you do have some funding or you desire to invest in that piece and in that piece in the name of peace, I can't say I wouldn't tell you not to try that, right? Like it probably will make your life a whole lot easier through this process because a lot of this stuff just not second nature, right? Like it's just not something that I don't think people just know how to do unless I guess you've been in this content space for some time. So all the things I just didn't know, like I knew I was gonna have to edit the videos, right? Of course, but my idea is like, okay, how much editing am I gonna do? I just need to, chop it up and just post it, right? I started listening to the tonal quality of the thing, the sound of it, and then I'm like, oh, so that's why they use real mics, right? And then with the stupid mic, you got to use real software. So then it's like, how do you use the software? You got to learn how to use the stupid software. Then you got to learn how to use the CapCut, which apparently, everybody already knew how to use. I only use CapCut for TikTok. And y'all know I ain't no TikToker. I don't make no TikToks. So my ability on even with that was so limited. But all that to say, we press through. We push through and we get the things done. So we back in the stew. So I figured some things out, got some new equipment, learned how to do some things. Y'all, we about to be cooking. So now we cooking with grease, like hot grease, hot grease. So again, I guess the moral of the story is to start and perfect as you go. And that's the key. So that's what the overall hiatus have been, is like the technology and the production side. And I would I would say that's something that trying to learn how to do all of this is a little bit intense. It's a little intense. It might be easy for somebody else, but I also am like, where are the kids? Where are the teenagers? They don't want to work for us. They don't want to do things. I mean, maybe they do. They probably just want a lot of money to do it. But I ain't had no teen reach out in the name of hustle on some auditing stuff. Like, I felt like at that age, I probably would have been so pressed to help somebody with something using my phone or something, because I used to want to make a coin. But I don't know. So if y'all got any nieces or nephews that just want a nice little internship, I got plenty of things they can do. Down to the KeeKeys studios, down to the Girly Girl studios. So if somebody got a teenager that needs an internship, I can make it happen. Also, so pivot back to, again, talking about what's been going on lately. So the furlough is over. The shutdown is, proverbially over for us right now. And I think that was the other piece too, was for that 43 days where, government workers were furloughed. That was like a very crazy time, like personally and professionally around, for me too. Not because I work for the government, but I feel like anybody who works in any kind of service industry and probably product-based sales in this area too, any business in this area is going to be impacted by federal government workers, right? Um, and that impact is far reaching in all kinds of ways. But all that to say, for me, thankfully, I didn't take no huge crazy hits in the name of anything. Me and my clients been working together and we've been getting things done. But even to say that, like, I got clients who've been going to work every day and not getting paid. Like, I had those people, the essentials, the super essentials, who had to go take their cheeks to get their cheeks in those seats in those offices, and they wasn't even getting paid. So, there's a lot of emotion that comes with that, and just talking to people and kind of seeing how they getting through whatever they getting through, and the overall uncertainty there. I would say I feel like some of the content that I was digesting seemed very tone deaf. And so, in the name of that, it was just like, I don't even really want to make nothing right now, because life is really lifing for a lot of people. And I just didn't have too much more substantive to add to some of these conversations. And so it was just like a moment of like, we got to breathe and regroup and figure some things out, because yeah, a lot of leadership in this area, and people, I was kind of surprised with a lot of people's messaging, where it's just like, dang, do you care, or do you know that this is a real thing? So that's the serious stuff. Like, that's the serious part of me. That's the serious part of me that just I can't get on anywhere and do anything that doesn't make good sense and does not, like, that grieve my spirit. Like, I don't want to just get on there and just talking about stuff that nobody cares about. I mean, I'm talking about something nobody cares about on a regular basis, right? But it's cool to just kiki and chit chat when, things are more smooth. But again, I feel like it was, some people's content was very tone deaf during this shutdown. And, these my people. I care about these people. Like, these my friends, my family, my clients, all those things. And that's how I eat. Furthermore, I think the other piece of it is with the conversation around SNAP benefits and WIC and all those things being intertwined with the legislation around the Affordable Care Act. I think people have this vision in their mind that the people that need the Affordable Care Act are like it's a nuanced group, like it's a small special group of people, and it's not. they look like me. It's me and mine. It's my self-employed girlfriends and good guy friends who have to pay for their health insurance out of their pocket. It's your hairdresser, it's your nail tech, it's all the girls, it's all the people that do it's your barber, it's all the people that like you touch on a daily basis that you might not think like it's that big of a deal, or the people that you think make a lot of money, or the people that you think got all this cash. We the ones that got paid for that out of pocket, right? So even more on the ends of like being tone deaf and insensitive, it's also like, yeah, the Democrats were supposed to be holding out for me. It was me they was doing it for, because baby girl does not have, nor will she be paying $1,000, $11, $12, $13, $14, $1,500 a month for health insurance. I'm just not. I ain't doing it. I'm not gonna do it. I just gotta stay woke and stay well or something. I don't know, but I'm not doing that. So all that to say, a caveat of things, I don't love the way everyone handled, their people during that time. So that was also why I was a little bit, some of it was important for me just to be quiet. That's it. So, he walk away and I be quiet. And then when he leave, I be talking again. So here we are. That's the key. So the Epstein files were released. And again, we still waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? So that was the whole big thing with the furlough, and the last swearing in was they knew the numbers for the Epstein files would be in favor of having them released. But we still haven't seen what we really want to see, right? Like, right now we've seen the little messy stuff, right? The little messy Bro Housewives of the Epstein files kind of tea, where it's like, what the heck is going on? We haven't seen the important stuff because you want to make sure like the people that was trafficking children are held accountable. But we ain't talking about that right now. Y'all, what's wrong with your man Donald? That guy is absolutely unhinged, and we knew it, right? Like we knew he was unhinged and delusional, right? So we always talk about his delusion and the absolute ability to live in delusion. So as the files are being released, his initial response was like, "Don't talk to me about this. I'm not me and Jeffrey Epstein were not friends. We had bad relationships. We was not cool. That's not my homie. You need to talk to his mans and them if you want to know what's going on." So his mans and them he said Bill Clinton, hold on, I wrote it down. Bill Clinton, the president of Harvard University, and JP Morgan Chase. He said that people need to ask those that were actually friends with Epstein, Bill Clinton, Harvard University president, and JP Morgan Chase. Y'all, JP Morgan Chase was born in the 1800s. That man died in 1913. Jeffrey Epstein didn't know him. And the fact that you just get up there and say anything just to get the heat off you is crazy. Like, I don't know if he's giving snitch. Like, I don't think Donnie probably wouldn't tell for real, because, he'd have to tell it himself. But the fact that man part of those lips to say he needs to talk to, I'm not friends with that man, although there's endless evidence that says otherwise. But talk to who he knows, including the late, great JP Morgan Chase. So that was the first one. And then the other one that had us on edge, blowing on Bubba. Does Vladimir Putin still have the picture of Donald Trump blowing on Bubba? And so, of course, when I first read it, I was like, what is Bubba? I think everybody was like, what is Bubba? So I'm like Bubba Kush? Like, is he smoking weed? Do you have a picture of him smoking weed? Nah, that wasn't it. And so there's been a lot of other stories going around about, are they really talking about Bubba being Bill Clinton? That was the whole thing. Bubba is Bill Clinton's nickname. So was he blowing on Bubba? Is there a video of Donald Trump blowing on Bubba? I don't know. And if there is, certainly don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. That is not what I need to see. You don't need to see it either. No one wants to see Donald Trump blowing on Bubba. So all that to say, that's the state of the Epstein files right now. It's really been pretty non-eventful. They need to hurry up and get to it. That's really what it all comes down to. Also another political news, DOD, Department of Defense, is no more. It is now the newly $2 billion improved Department of War. Y'all, that sounds crazy. Why do we need a Department of War? That just sounds unnecessarily aggressive. Like, Donnie, please. So that's where we are post government, the Democrat shutdown. So at least we're out of the Democrat shutdown for right now. They bother my girl Jasmine Crockett about the things that she reported, honestly, that she spent her monies on. Y'all, she wasn't broke. She was an attorney. She's been making money for a long time. And if she desires to not stay at the Red Roof Inn, that's what she grinds for, y'all. Like, that's crazy that they would even start pulling them kind of receipts out. But that's where they at with it. So, nothing important. Our lives are still very much in the balance. And we just got to figure it out. So that's where we're at with that. All right. Did y'all know? All right. So Boosie, Lil Boosie, the rapper, just had his birthday. Now, this entered the group chat, and that's the only reason I'm talking about it. Did y'all know Boosie was 43 years old? Only 43. So I'm 41, and the majority of us are in our 40th, 41st year. And at no point in my life had I ever considered that Boosie was, in fact, a peer. Is he a peer? Yeah, like he's in our age group. So my question was, like, do we be giving Boosie? Like, at this age, do we act like Boosie? And I don't want no smoke. I hope this, I don't got no energy to be arguing with nobody about Boosie on the internet. But I'm just curious, are we a Boosie 41? Because it don't feel the same. It don't feel the same. Maybe it is the same, and I don't know. Maybe it's the same, and I don't know. But I never in life thought that Boosie was our age. So did you think that? If you're my age, did you think that Boosie was only 43 years old? And are we giving a Boosie 43? So, and a little bit more exciting news, a little bit of entertainment updates. So, this is absolutely binge TV season, right? Like, I'm anticipating some shows coming back that I'm not even sure when they're coming back, but this is a real good time to be watching TV right now. The one thing that I have not watched yet that I very much need to catch up on is Force. I don't know if y'all liked Force. I've heard very mixed things about it. A lot of people didn't like the Tommy spinoff. You know, they just call it Tommy. Tommy. They didn't like the Tommy spinoff of Power. I actually liked it the best. I thought it was very good because new characters, new storyline, and it made sense, right? It was like the old storyline, it did its thing. We don't need to keep revisiting that same thing. So I love that Tommy went out, and I liked all the new characters, the new family, and all that type time. So I haven't watched that yet, but that's definitely something that we will digest a little bit later. But for now, the first thing, have you guys seen Hunted by My Husband, the untold story of the DC sniper? So this is actually available on the ID channel and on HBO Max, Hunted by My Husband. It's a series of, stories where women talk about various domestic violence situations with their husbands. So of course, this particular episode is about John Allen Muhammad and his former wife, Mildred Muhammad. And this story was from her family's perspective. And again, I don't know that everybody knew that at the end of the day, they realized this was a plot to kill his wife, right? But no one had really heard anything from her, or at least I hadn't. Like, I didn't know too much about her story. So I found this particular show to be very interesting because it was from her perspective. She narrates it, she's on it, and she's telling her story. And it was interesting because, again, I was young. Like when the DC sniper situation happened, I was a freshman in college, so I was also in Atlanta and I wasn't here. And at that time, the publication or the news around the story was real different there. It wasn't as urgent as it was here. Here it was a real big deal. Here it was super serious, but it didn't have that same level of urgency there. I didn't realize the severity of the whole DC sniper thing until it was done, honestly. But that was also immediately post 9/11. 9/11 happened first semester of my senior year of high school, and then the DC sniper thing happened first semester of my freshman year of college. And so, of course, at that time, him being Muslim, I think a lot of the rhetoric around that was much more like terrorist attack, right? Like that Muslim terrorist story. Like, although he was knocking off all kinds of random people, it was not. It was nothing that had to do with terrorism, right? But they definitely used that story a little bit more. They made that story very Muslim and very much in the name of him doing something, and he was a Muslim man. That's it. Like those two things were the context around it, and not too much more was said other than the fact that he wanted to kill his wife. That's the only thing that I knew. So the story pretty much the show tells his whole story, and of course he was a veteran and he had PTSD. And long story short, the man was killing people in random ways to get to his wife, so that no one would think it was him who killed her, and then he would be able to have this like super sob story moment that he was like this grieving father, and he'd be able to get his kids back. His kids were taken from him because of previous DV situations with his wife. So his wife didn't allow him to see the kids. Like she had taken the kids away, and they were like living their own kind of life. And then so again, amidst all of his stuff going on, he just crashes. He crashes out, and that's the way he does it. And so the story even talks about like how Mildred and her daughter, like when the FBI realized that the father was a sniper, right? Of course, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. Like, this is some kind of sharpshooter. Of course, he's in the military. Like, what's going on? Who is this person and why are they doing this? But it's talking about like, the girl, his daughter, when they had to pick him up from school with the FBI, like, your dad is a sniper and all of that type of stuff. And then realizing like he really killed all of these people to get to Mildred. So really the core of the whole case was that it was the core of the whole situation was, the heart of it was a domestic violence dispute. Like, and there were so many red flags before, but of course nobody knew it would go like this, or go like that rather. So it was a very interesting take to hear that story from her perspective, because I think her story deserves to be told. I think while there is a lot of victims, and while unfortunately at this point a lot of them feel nameless, I think it's important that she has the opportunity to tell her story, because wow, could you imagine the trauma around living through that? So check that out. A little bit lighter show. So it hasn't aired yet. Y'all know my favorite show of all time, like my favorite show, A Different World. I watch A Different World from beginning to end at least one time a year, probably twice. But I even still watch season 1 when it was in the HBCU with Maggie. No one likes that season, but I'll still watch it. So it's my favorite show of all time. I think it's so perfect. Very much a large part of the reason why I went to Spelman. Like, not even knowingly, but like A Different World shaped something in me, because I ain't know nobody that went to know. I was never intimately acquainted with nobody who went to college or no HBCU. So I don't know. So all that to say, A Different World made a big deal. It was a big deal in our world. It was A Different World. And so it's not a reboot. It is a continuation of the story. So they are getting ready to, I don't know if they've been recording that, but they've already casted it, but it's the A Different World, the continuation. And it is Dwayne and Whitley's daughter. Okay. So it's Dwayne and Whitley's daughter, Deborah. It's her story. So a couple of things. One, we would not tolerate any A Different World slander, right? Like, there will be none. We're going to figure it out, and we would not publicly shame A Different World, right? I do feel like the show is going to be good. People be hesitant about this kind of stuff, but I hope First, I hope it's actually a comedy and not just a drama. Um, but Debbie Allen is still one of the executive producers, right? Debbie Allen was the EP on the original, one of the EPs on the original. And she is also still very involved in Hollywood, right? Like, she does Grey's Anatomy. She is a producer. So I feel like she still very much has her her finger on her pulse on this on her finger on the pulse. Like she knows what's relevant and she knows how to make things cool. Back then, she knew all the things and the ways to push the boundaries and the limits. So I think Debbie Allen being on board is going to keep it how it should be, right? I think it's going to be great. However, my initial reaction is two problems. One, nowhere in the world do I see Dwayne Cleophas Wayne and Whitley Marion Gilbert naming their daughter Deborah. Huh? Dwayne Wayne was from New York, and Whitley is like a fly belle. She was a fly girl. Why would they name their daughter Deborah? Like, I mean, it's a powerful biblical name, but I don't got them. That ain't no fly name. They not naming their kid Deborah. I don't think. I don't know. And that wasn't either one of their mother's names either. So fundamentally, I have an issue with her name being Deborah. It just doesn't track for me. The second problem I have is, how old is Deborah? Dwayne and Whitley were pregnant on the last episode of A Different World when they were getting ready to leave for Tokyo. It is 2025. That had to have been over, 30 years ago? At least 25 years ago. There's no way that she's just going to college right now, right? No, it is a college story, yeah. So is this your grandchild? Is their granddaughter? Like, it cannot be their daughter because no daughter of Dwayne and Whitley right now will be going to college unless they have like a big age gap between an older child and it's like a little baby child. I don't know. So we're going to stay hopeful. We're going to stay tuned because I'm sure it's going to be good. But those are my initial thoughts. How do y'all feel about that? Last but not least, okay, so this is a little bit spoiler alert. Married at First Sight, that's my jam. The season is over. I don't know if anybody was watching it because I haven't really seen too much tweeting and talking about it. Probably because it wasn't that good of a season, right? Like, it was some interesting stuff going on there. There was some interesting couples on there, but nobody was like really exciting. So that's probably why nobody talked about it. However, every person said yes on the decision day, right? Everybody walked away with their spouse on decision day. And at the reunion, not one person was together. Like, none of them were together no more. So all that to say, it was a waste of time. Like, they just wasted my time on that show for a whole, at least they must have known it was bad because they rolled like 4 episodes out at a time so you could just get in and get out. So while I'm usually really excited about Married at First Sight, at this time it was not good. We did not like it. But in better TV news, Love After Lockup is about to come back and Monique on there again. And that's it. We're going to say that. That's all we're going to say. Love After Lockup is coming back and Monique is on there. So we're going to definitely talk about that soon too. Okay. And then just a little bit of wrap up. So what's going on in my life right now? So we are continuing. So this podcast thing, we about to be right back in the groove, right? This is a high level overview episode. So I can get something on the books for y'all to listen to and to look at. And then we back into the regular rotation now, right? So we podcasting. I am still in my acting bag. I had just finished wrapping up some visual work for Lonnie B's Brooks Place Apartment 202, coming to a city near you soon. Chicago, Houston, Philly, and DC will have shows. I am not on the stage for this production this time, but I did some visual work. So definitely go see it. It's gonna be a really cute show. Like, it's a good show. It's different. It's gonna be a good time. I am also in another show with Ty Cobb Productions. Confessions of a Church Girl with Ty Cobb. That will be in May. So I am currently in the middle of production for that and rehearsals for that. So that should be super exciting. I can't wait to for y'all to see what we're working on for that. Definitely a different feel than the first two productions. So I think you guys will enjoy this one as well if you come out and see it. But working hard as always. And a couple of new things potentially coming around the bend for the girly girls as well. So stay tuned for that. But y'all, I just wanted to get on here and make an episode so we can continue to keep this thing rolling, y'all. I'm figuring it out. And I very much appreciate anybody who checked back in with me this week because I've been gone for a couple weeks. So if you made it all the way to this part, I thank you. You are a friend, and I consider you fam. So thank you. So yeah, so this will be uploaded. I think I'm uploaded on Tuesday for y'all to watch and check in. And that is the plan for it to be the new rotation. Again, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna keep working on this thing together. Definitely reach out if you have any questions. If y'all working on y'all pods and you want me to help you, I don't know that much, but I will certainly help you however I can. And make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe because that's the key. Thanks.